Portals, I think, is the coolest paper maker in the world. You know, we make the most fantastic products. They're products that every single person in this world will touch every day.
It's got a wonderful history, its culture, its ethos, and it's all about delivering and manufacturing security papers all over the world.
The definition of security paper comes from the product that it's used for. So it's a high security document such as a passport, a birth certificate, a high street voucher, etc.
It's a very complex process, and it's one that definitely shouldn't be taken for granted at all. It's the foundational cornerstone of a passport book or an identity document. If you don't have a secure paper, then the document in itself is going to be fragile, is going to be more vulnerable.
We have 2 sites in the south of England. We have one site in Overton in Hampshire that is dedicated to making banknote paper, and then we have the site here in Bathford where we are focused on making high security papers, including passport papers.
Portals is the biggest producer of cylinder mould high security documents in the world.
From our Overton site, we'll supply enough paper to make 12 billion banknotes a year, and from our site here in Bathford, we'll supply the paper for 60 million passports, 70 million certificates, so the numbers really are quite huge. We have customers in countries all over the world, you know, whether that's on our doorstep in Europe or kind of further afield into Asian, African and Latin American markets. We have that perfect balance, you know, we're a local employer. Both of our sites are on the outskirts of kind of small rural villages. Many of our employees will come from those villages or very, very close by. And I think that adds to that kind of family atmosphere that we have in both of our sites.
People like working here. It's very friendly, easygoing people. If you ever need something, people will step up and help you.
Portals is a well-regarded company in the local community. Numerous families and generations of that have worked here.
Today on site we have a father and a son working together, and actually that son is the grandson of a former employee. We feel quite privileged to be working here in Bath, which is a beautiful historic city, but also on the edge of the Cotswolds, which is also a very lovely environment. We couldn't wish for a nicer place to work. I've got cows in the field outside my office.
Every day I'm in awe. You know, you walk through the floor here in Bathford or in Overton and you see watermarks being made and seeing how that's being done at 60 metres a second with thread being integrated and all the artistic work that goes behind it, and you can't help but be amazed.
I think that brings a certain pride to the work that we do. We talk about being proudly Portals, and that means different things to different people here in the company. But it's about, you know, being proud for the products that we make, you know, taking a pride in every little task that they do day to day, and therefore it goes through into the products that we deliver to our customers. There's a pride and a proudness there in that product that we deliver.
It's a very difficult product to make. It's very intricate and involved, and in order to be able to do that consistently, you really have to get under the skin of what you're trying to do. You have to be an expert, and I think our people take great pride in their expertise.
I mean, you almost fall in love with the product. You know, it's a paper person, you know, just loves being around paper. And it's a kind of a dedication, I guess.
The history of Portals is, in my mind, kind of the best bet. You know, it starts from this young Frenchman called Henri Portal in 1712 who came across from France reportedly in a wine barrel, and he got himself an apprenticeship. You know, he was one of the first apprentices being a paper maker. Very quickly, Henri went from being an art paper maker to being a security paper maker, and he got probably the contract that made this business. He got the contract for making the banknote paper for the Bank of England.
This mill's been around for over 200 years. In fact, there's been a manufacturing facility on this site since the Domesday Book was written in 1066. It really helps the ownership of your input to the business. It helps you to understand that you're not transient. You're not just passing through. There's a place in history for the site and for the products that we make.
You've taken on the jersey, if you like, of those before you, and you want to wear that with pride to make sure that you consistently deliver the high quality that's been there for many years.
Sustainability is important to us here at Bathford. We've been here for many years and we want to be here for many years more.
We are investing to reduce the amount of water that we're using, to reduce the amount of raw materials, whether that's wood pulp or cotton pulp, in our processes, because actually we need to make sure that we are reducing our impact not only on our local environment here in the beautiful areas of countryside that we operate in, but actually globally where our raw materials perhaps come from.
Portals, as an organisation, as a company, have always wanted to have their finger on the pulse. They've always been at the forefront of what they do. There's a huge desire for innovation. They are always working with the supply chain to improve the quality, to improve the security of the papers they produce. All of the different techniques that are used in making mould-made paper are very specialised. So it's not an operation where you move people from one job to another to stop them getting bored. They don't get bored, they just love it.
It's constantly moving, it's constantly evolving. You know, these counterfeiters are learning just as fast as we are learning to innovate.
There are two main threats to any identity document. It's counterfeiting and forgery. The paper is key to both. From a counterfeiting perspective, the watermark is globally acknowledged as the key security feature for a security document.
When they pick up a passport to check it's genuine, when they look at a birth certificate, they will look to see whether the watermark is there. In terms of our cylinder moulds watermarking capabilities, we absolutely are the best. There's a lot of variables within papermaking, and what we seek to do, we have a dedicated team who essentially engineer the furnish of the paper to be able to achieve the right tones in the watermark as well as the right strength in the paper. It really is an art.
From a forgery or a fraudulent alteration perspective, it's tamper evidence. You need to be able to see from the fibres in the paper, the disturbance to them, that some information on that paper has been changed.
We work with a lot of border force agencies around the world to understand where we need to innovate, what's required in the market. We worked, for example, with our UK government customer to be able to innovate a particular feature known as Skylight that prevents individuals or forgers from altering personal data on the biodata page.
Skylight provides a tamper-evident feature which also carries the print design, which makes it very hard for forgers to remove and then work from a blank substrate.
Textmark is another feature that we've developed and that we're very proud of.
Textmark is positive and negative electrotype used in combination with the watermark to enhance security by adding text in combination with the watermark itself.
It can include forensic elements, and it's also really complementary with print features and any other security features you plan to put in the book. Chemical sensitisation is a very simple addition at the beginning of the process. It's chemicals contained within the paper furnish. If somebody tries to use nail polish remover to change their name on their passport document, it will render the page useless because they'll get a big stain on the page.
Portals as an organisation, that they take threats to their products very, very seriously, and really the fact that I've been brought on board to help them with that, to help them secure the products even further, is testament to that, in my opinion.
There's lots of different things that you can include within a high security paper. You've got fibres, planchettes, and in themselves they can have so many different characteristics. They can have bespoke properties to each individual customer. They can have text within a fibre. They can be shaped to the shape of a flag, for example. And then you have things like threads, which as an integrator, we can source threads from sort of any of the manufacturers in the market.
Portals has a proud history of innovating in this industry, you know. So in the past, you know, we were the first paper makers to put threads into paper, and now if you look at banknotes, or if you more and more look at passport products, they have threads in there, and that was a Portals innovation. And actually that's something we've tried to continue on in more recent years with innovations to enhance the durability of our paper products.
So we have features Cornerstone and Edgestone, which are specifically engineered to be able to tackle the problem of creasing or floppy edges of a passport book particularly.
Helps stop those kind of little gnawing little dog ears, the little folded corners that you might get in a paper banknote, or you might get in your passport book for pushing it into your pocket a little bit too quickly. And then there's other projects that we're working on now that I can't quite tell you about yet.
Our business is built around trust. basically. We manufacture security documents, so that means that our customers must trust us, and we value the trust that our customers have in us above all else. It's really important that we have a workforce and we have a culture within the mill that engenders trust at all levels, that engenders cooperation at all levels. And when we have that, then we can feel that we've put some of that into the product, and I think that our customers recognise that and value that.
The 300 years of Portals, that means it's a secure, established business that people can trust, and that's why the company is still here after all that time.
Portals customers, we don't tend to go and find them, they seem to come and find us. And I think that comes down to kind of our reputation in the market, our heritage, the over 300 years of delivering these products. So really, our name is out there.
We always try and put our customers first, so we will generally do anything they ask within reason and try and help them out with any issues they have with the paper or deadlines or new products coming through where there's tight timelines.
The way that we work with customers is definitely very much partnership, collaboration. Those words are sort of our key drivers, our key motivations within Portals. For us, it's not just a component. We don't want to work with our customers as just an individual part of it, because the end product, that passport book or that vital record or that vehicle registration document, can be so much more if you work together. And we've really seen that develop with some of our key customers over the last few years.
You want somebody that's making your paper to really care about your paper. And I think when you have that pride in either the company, in the job, and the products that you make, that comes through and the way that customers will see that is in the quality of the product that they see.
We're looking at each of the individual components and how we can work together to give the very end customer something phenomenal.
A passport, ideally, to my mind, makes the citizens of that country proud. So the designers, the people who are making it, we want them to feel proud of it as well.
It's a history. It's a history of each individual country. It's actually something that's quite personal to that individual, to the individual holder of their passport.
We've got a very well-skilled design team with years of experience on working on security products and features.
Every day is different, because you could have an order turn up for something, or you could have an estimate, an inquiry for something completely different that we haven't made before.
It's a really agile business, but the people are really, really passionate.
We can show the customer that we are very happy to apply many different techniques into the paper to make sure the customer's requirement is met by giving them lots of choice, being very agile and flexible about how we deliver the solution thereafter.
And we all work together, we all pitch in and help each other out.
Like a good orchestra, all parts need to work together. And it's infectious. You see the people who have been there for years and those who are being developed and brought on, and you naturally go with it because you see you're part of something very unique.
There's a lot of people here that have given their lives almost to it. It's particularly in this mill. There are people that have been doing this for many, many years.
And there are people here who are absolutely live and breathe it and are highly professional, who've done in some cases 30 or 40 years and are the master of their art, literally.
And it's not unusual for us to be handing out 30-year, 40-year anniversary badges to those people. So people stick around, it gets into your soul, it gets into you.
I'm always impressed with the people here, the dedication, the passion of them to improve the product, to increase the security of the paper, to get it right every time.
If you ask anybody in our business who are the world's leading paper makers in high security paper, Portals would be right up there near the top.
With our massive history going back centuries, combined with a wonderful culture that is embedded here, and then on top of that you have this ruthless desire to innovate, not to stand still, and then produce product for 100+ countries around the world. Because of that, we feel we're the best in the world.